where he says, the heavens belongs to me, but the earth belongs to the Son of Man. It belongs to you. Whatever you're taking advantage of here in this earth, that's what's going to give you results. I just want you to be challenged, as I am also being challenged. I have wasted my time. There are some of the areas whereby I cannot account what I've used that time for. There are sometimes, like as I've mentioned yesterday, when you have used an analogy of money, that sometimes you can have 10,000 rands, but when you're trying to reconcile, to say, where did I use this all money for? You can only count up until 7,000. The whole 3,000 is lost. If you are lucky, some they don't even remember what they've used. That's why the Bible says, it is useless to live up until you are very old, but you have not used your time wisely while you are living. So today, I just want to start from now, trying to answer, because of sometimes when we are talking about this, talking about time, sometimes you can even feel bad, you feel guilty about the time that is lost. That's why God, when he was encouraging the children of Israel, he said, I will restore
the years.
I will restore the times.
Yes.
He didn't talk about product. Because of this thing, you can lose it.
Yeah.
You can lose all of those things, but because of you have invested in yourself, you can reproduce them.
Yeah.
But if ever you fail to utilize time, you cannot produce anything. We said yesterday, there is nothing that can be produced outside of time. That's why the Bible says, in the beginning, at the point in time, God created.
Yeah.
There was a point in time, and God had to create. So what we're trying to answer today is how to minimize, because of I think it is impossible maybe to account for each and every. There are times whereby time is lost in the process. So, but what we're trying to answer today is how to minimize time lost, because of time can be lost. This question, there was a question that was asked to Muhammad Ali. He was asked by just the guy who was in the studio or set up or something like that. The kid asked Muhammad Ali, he said, after you have retired, what are you going to do with your time? And the guy, in his wisdom, he sat down and started calculating. He did a very thorough calculation. He said, maybe when I'm retiring, I'll retire at the age of 40. So which means maybe say 40, you've got another 45 years or 40 years to live. He calculated that maybe 50% of that 40 years, you might be sleeping. That's why, guys, we shouldn't sleep too much. As good it is to sleep, but sleeping too much sometimes is tiring.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you wake up, you are tired, you're going to waste another 2 hours while you're trying to stretch yourself. We do a lot of these things. And Muhammad Ali, he answered and he said, and he calculated, he said no, which means if ever he's going to die at another 40 or 45 years, he's only having about 15 years for him to be awake, to be in here and now. Some of the time maybe you spend driving. That's why sometimes it is important for you to have something that you are investing in yourself while even you are driving.
Yes, sir.
Like the technology now, it allows us to have audiobooks, whereby you just put it in the car and try and invest in yourself. Because of, remember what we are saying, time is lost. We said, when we have made this analogy of water, we said this, I'm pouring it down, I've lost it. I've drank it, it still went down. So something which is constant, it will go down either way. You have used it or you didn't use it, it will still go down.
Amen.
So the issue is now, how can I maximize it? How can I try to use it at the fullest? How can I try to use as much as I can of what is going down anyway? 15 years ago, I was not this old. I was 15 years younger. When I met you, Bishop, I was 15 years younger. Running, wasting time. And then by the time you are 40, you realize that no, man, I don't have time to waste. So don't wait. I'm happy that I'm speaking to a lot of guys here who are even far younger than me. Some of you are 20 or 20s. Some of you are older than me. But for the fact that you are here, it means that God has still got a purpose for you. Amen. That's why the Bible says a living dog is better than the dead lion.
Yeah.
You can be, I don't care how strong you are. If you are gone, you are gone.
You are gone.
The one who has got an opportunity is the one who is in here.
Who's alive.
The one who can maximize time is the one who is in here.
Yes, sir.
So what we are trying to answer today, we are trying to answer, how can we minimize time waste? And how can we maximize conversion? So the key word here is going to be conversion. 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 How can I convert as much time as possible? And also what I've learned while I was preparing this is that it is difficult for you to convert without enough knowledge.
Yeah.
Maybe the first step is to find knowledge. It is impossible. If ever I don't have knowledge of how to produce this water, I can spend 20 hours trying to do this.
Yeah.
Sometime back I was trying to change my brake pads myself. Change my brake pads. Somebody's laughing, said brake pads, they are simple. Maybe it's because of you know. You see now the question is, what you know becomes simple.
Yeah.
What I don't know becomes difficult. You, because of you know it, when you are changing brake pads, maybe you'll spend 30 minutes. I don't know. I'm trying to do it without proper information. I spent 4 hours. I was trying to do that. I was still driving an Audi then. I removed my tires. I look at the thing. I couldn't do it. I went to another guy. He told me, said, no, for you to be able to change that, you need a specific tool for you to be able to change. So I spent the whole day trying to do something that takes somebody with knowledge an hour. That's why I'm saying, for us to be able to have a knowledge of conversion, there is a certain knowledge that we need to have.
Yeah.
Don't try to convert something you don't know. That's why we said we should go and find out from the one who has brought us here in the first place. To say, God, why did you bring me here? Because I don't want just to exist. There is a scenario in the Bible. The gardener and the garden boy. Is it the gardener? No. The one who is keeping the garden is the gardener. And the one who's owning the vineyard.
The vineyard.
So this guy, he came in and then he looked at a particular tree. The one who's owning now the vineyard. He looked at a particular tree. This tree, it was supposed to, because of it has already spent time, it was supposed to have produced fruits.
Yeah.
So when he looked at it, he found out, no man, here, there are no fruits. But this guy, he has already been here since last year, but there are no fruits. And then he called the gardener. He said, gardener, come here. Please help me remove this tree.
Wow.
The gardener was surprised. I said, no, master. Why must I remove the tree? He said, no, because of it's wasting space. Somebody who should be here might even be more productive than this one who is just here, happy to exist, happy to give someone maybe shade. And it's not your purpose. Sometimes we are here doing something which is secondary. It's fine, the tree can give us shade. But that's not the primary objective of the tree.
Yes, sir.
The primary objective of that particular tree was to give fruit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the master said, no, let's remove it. And then the gardener, he pleaded. God is pleading our case. Jesus is pleading our case. And the gardener, he pleaded. He said, no, let's give it another time.
Put some fertilizer.
Let's try something else. Let's put some fertilizer. Let's put more water.
Yes, sir.
Maybe it will be productive.
Wow.
We need to try and gather as much information as possible.
Hallelujah.
It is not pleasant to live without you see, one thing that I know for a fact is that every one of us who is here, you know it or you don't, is for a purpose. Every one of us, you believe it or you don't.
Amen.
But there is a purpose for your life.
Yes, sir.
Hallelujah.
And for you to live a fulfilled life, not just long years, existing long years, and behave that you have lived up until you are 99, but yet you didn't live according to your purpose. We all have got purpose. Our duty is to find out, why am I here?
Amen.
And when you find out, you will see that the time that you are wasting, sometimes you see the time that you are wasting it by default. Because of you don't know why we're here. So you will waste time. Because of you don't know, why should I be doing? Yeah. That's why we can spend 2 hours in front of the television. I hate 157. There's a new channel that they've introduced, 157. I hate it with a passion. That channel is here to destroy the lives of black people. Because of everything that is existing in the community, everything they just bring into the channel. And people, they will sit there from 6. Remember now, we have already wasted time. Because of we had to go in and prostitute time at our workplaces. Then we come back, we're driving 2 hours. You arrive at home maybe 6, you bath 6:30, you go sit down in front of the TV. You're watching that thing, 157. 7:30, it's much alive. They know. Those baby. 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, and then you are tired. The only reason why you are stopping watching that thing is because of you are tired. Then you are going to sleep up until also you are tired. And you wake up and you go in. No, in that circle, there is nowhere whereby we can account. All of that time is, and remember what we are saying. We are saying that time, like rightfully so Mruti has said, he said that time is unproductive. In reality, that time is not unproductive. We're the one who are unproductive during that particular time.
Yeah.
Because of we have said,
That's true.
every one of us, we've got the same amount of time.
Yes, sir.
Rich, poor, young, old, all of us, we are exposed to the very same equal amount of time. Even if ever we were to bring quality in it, that quality is the same. That hour that I'm getting and that hour that you are getting and hour that is the same, even with quality. But the issue is, how much have you converted?
Wow.
We are talking about conversion. That's what we should be mindful of. I'm saying to you, if you don't know how to use it, if you don't know what to convert, because of remember, you're the one who knows yourself. I can try and look good in front of you and say, I'm converting every hour of my life. That will be lying. That's why you should know what you should do with each and every hour. You should know. So which means if you don't know, search the information. So we are saying, and there are just maybe three things that I just want to mention that maybe can help us to be able to do the things that we have spoken about, minimizing the time lost and maximizing conversion. Number 1 is visualization. You shouldn't misunderstand visualization with what is this? Daydreaming, for example. We can all sit. Someone can be visualizing and someone can be just daydreaming, fantasizing. You understand? Making things which are not real to be. About that fantasizing. But when we are talking about visualization, we are talking about the intentional thinking and the intentional creating of something that you want to achieve when we are talking about visualization. And this visualization, it comes from the word vision. So I just want to quickly read the scripture that I know fully very well that you know, Proverbs 29. Let's read it so that you can see it and then maybe try and decode it and see what it says today. Because of we might have read it in the past and maybe you understood it different in a different context, but let's try and understand it in this context now. Verse number 18, 29, verse number 18 in the book of Proverbs. Where there is no vision, the people perish. That first part. If ever there is no vision, people are perishing because of you don't see anything. So even what you are using your time for, you are using based off what you don't see. So that is perish. You have already perished. Where there is no vision, the people perish. And also there is Habakkuk, where it talks about the vision now that you have, write it down. Make it plain. Write it down now. Remember now we are trying to visualize. There's a vision. Write it down. Make it plain. Make it plain to yourself. How many of us we have got visions that we have written down? Not vision which is in your head. Vision that is written down. That you know fully very well that this is what I'm living for. Amen. This is what I'm seeing. Because of, let me make this statement. If ever is not, you can build it on a piece of paper, you have written it down. You can build it in a steel. You cannot build a big structure without first writing it down. It is impossible. If you want to build a bridge, the engineers, the civil engineers, they will tell you, the bridge that is already standing there, it was written first on a piece of paper. Yes, it existed first on the piece of paper. So when it existing on the piece of paper, everything that you are living for, you are living to make sure that that thing is real. What is existing on the piece of paper is realized physically.
Yeah.
If you can draw it with a pencil, you can build it with a steel.
Wow.
Amen.
If you can't draw it, forget about building it. No matter how intelligent we may think we are. If I cannot be able to, because remember, I cannot draw what I don't see.
Hallelujah.
I have to see it first.
In your spirit.
Because if I'm seeing it here, it will be easy for me to manifest it here.
Yeah.
Wow.
The vision, it does not start up until the pen or the pencil and the paper, they have a relationship. That is the first relationship. Everything that has to be produced, there has to be a relationship before. So for the vision to be able to start, a pen and a paper, they must have a relationship. Number 2, I'm just going to talk about maybe just 3. Okay, is it my time or is it me? Decision. Decision. Every quality decision that has to be made, it must be made with good information, with good quality information. Quality decision can never be made with poor information. Every decision that has to be made, good decision, it should be made with good information. So which means it is important for us to find out the information first before we make a decision. Because if you make a decision with poor information, you will achieve poor results. Decision, the issue is about decision is that, I think I'm just going to stop with decision. The thing about decision is that decision, they've got, the reason why we are saying good decision will result, good information will result in making good quality decision. The problem is that if ever you have made a decision with bad information, decision has got consequences. Some of the decisions that I have made personally, that I'm the one who decided to make them, they are affecting people around me. Decision is like, they are like trauma, earthquake. You are the only one who's making your own decision alone. But people who are attached to you, they are affected. There was a time whereby I met a guy when I was still working for my previous employer. I met this guy, and then this guy was very trustworthy when you're looking at him. Soft voice, slim, white complexion. Everything about him convinced me to make that relationship with him, to have a relationship with him. So this guy, he said to me, he was working for a service provider. So from time to time, they will come to our employer to perform services. So he saw me doing assignment. So he said, "Oh, I see you are doing quality management." I said, "Yeah." And he said, "I want you to help me. I want us to establish, to have the company to be SAPS approved. So he told me that he is owning a company and he wants to resign from his employer. So he wants me to help him. So he wants us to partner in a way. I agreed. I decided to enter into partnership. Without telling people who are close to me, without going to find out about that particular project that you are about to embark on, I went there. I invested a lot of money, a lot of time. The guy who was trustworthy, who was good looking, who was yellow bone, he turned up against me. He said, no, he already resigned from where he was working. And the contract that we were preparing this documentation for, because of I had even to go to SAPS to make sure that we are SAPS approved. He just left me hanging like that. With that investment that I've already made. Taking a lot of money that is going to affect people who are close to me. Not discussing with the wife. Because some of the things we as men, we think we are smart. I already know that when you are telling the wife will say no. So you say, no, let me embark on this decision alone. When I'm getting returns, she's going to enjoy it. And you try to convince yourself, no, she'll be the one enjoying it in the first place. Moreover, she asked me for money yesterday. Let me take it. And the money that you have taken, you didn't disclose. Even the way, when you are coming in, you didn't disclose. That maybe that's the reason why, even when you are trying to invest it, you don't want to disclose. And that money disappeared. Decision that I've made alone, it affected my family. Without them making that decision with me. Decision that Eve made, it affected the whole family. But when she went there, she didn't discuss with Adam. But we are all the product of that decision. So which means that earthquake started there, but it affected us. Clap hands for Jesus.
Hallelujah. Let's clap hands for Jesus.